Hi, my name is Alyssa Ochoa, and I'm here to tell you about my project, The Implicit Dream, the Texas Dairy Business, and its long road to deferred excellence. I'd first like to state the purpose of my project. The purpose of this project is to show that Texas has the advantages that have been masked by large environmental problems. But I'd like to first ask you this question. Do you know what this picture is? Well, this picture, as we all know, is the trademark for Chick-fil-A. And we all love Chick-fil-A, right? Well, it's also the trademark, and the name of this cow is the Holstein. So she is the image of the whole entire dairy industry. If you think of dairy, you most likely are picturing this cow. Firstly, I'd like to talk about Gail Borden. Gail Borden lived in Texas. I know, Texas. Gail Borden unfortunately moved from Texas to New York in 1829 to 1851. Where Gail Borden came up with the idea of condensed milk. And what is condensed milk and how did it help? Well, condensed milk really paved the way for the dairy industry as far as war, because this milk was used as a fast way to receive protein, and protein means power for your muscles. So this helped the North win the Civil War. Unfortunately, that meant Texas had lost the Civil War. But we are not done, because we are ready to show that we have the advantages, what it takes to become great. Firstly, I'd like to talk about an environmental factor that had really affected Texas regarding the dairy industry. This is the Texas tick fever depicted here. The Texas tick fever is where ticks would lay on the skins of their cattle, and it could ultimately cause disease, infection, and implement viruses that would wipe out herds within days, weeks, or even months, which was detrimental to the dairy industry. But I'd like to state that Texas was going through this trial and tribulation. We wanted to find a way to better ourselves when it came to the tick fever. So we come up with this idea of cattle dipping, which is depicted here and here. What is this, you may ask? Well, it's not cattle tipping as Mater may have said in the movie Cars. Cow dipping is where cows were put in this alleyway and basically walked through and jumped into this pool of water that was filled with arsenic in order to coat the skins of the cows, get rid of the ticks and any other topical viruses, bugs, bacteria, anything that might have been on there. But although we have faced many environmental factors regarding Texas alone, we are not done. As Texas has many advantages when it comes to silage, when at times of drought, we are able to convert our crops into silage, such as grains, in order to give back, maintaining a homeostasis between the environment and our animals. It is also a great when it comes to having grass all year round for our cattle to graze, and they're not stuck in barns where they might be covered in their own filth, which can cause disease and bacteria. And since we consume this milk, that's very important to have cows that are able to receive fresh air and be out there with nature. Also, I'd like to point out, depicted here, is the idea of raw versus pasteurized milk. Raw milk is your, per se, farm to the table. It only lasts 7 to 10 days though, unfortunately. Whereas pasteurized milk can last from anywhere from 12 to 25 days, depending on where you get the milk, who manufactures it, etc. Raw milk goes through the process of basically getting the milk and canning the milk. Whereas pasteurized milk goes through the process of getting the milk, heating the milk at a low and slow rate in order to kill off any of the harmful bacteria that may make you even sick. Personally, I wouldn't try raw milk, but I've heard, as I've interviewed people that have tried raw milk, that is very pleasant, although it is very different. But I'd also like to go through this idea of we're facing troubles, we're facing trials and tribulations, we're facing losing people and environmental factors that are having a large effect on Texas and that are hurting Texas overall. But I'd like to go through the idea that Wisconsin alone is a very prominent state that we need to overcome. And this is because Wisconsin has come up with the idea of Swiss cheese. And Swiss cheese, everybody loves the cheese with holes. Why? I don't know. It came from Wisconsin, to say the least. But we need to overcome this. And this is when we come into the idea of the Texas Bluebell. Who doesn't love Bluebell? Bluebell has so many different flavors that are there for any occasion, summer, winter, and even fall. And fun fact, people eat more ice cream when it's colder. I mean, who would ever think? But Texas, as many of you know, has the Bluebell ice cream that is located in Bryan, Texas, so a little outside of College Station. And first, the Bluebell was not called Bluebell originally. It was called Brenham Creameries, where it only produced butters and margarine, sorry. And so one hot day, they came up with this idea to make ice cream. And they sold it outside of this small town little store, and it blew up from there. And now I can wholeheartedly say that we are number 2 in the overall nation. I mean, the whole entire world when it comes to dairy, milk, and milk products. So I would say that no matter what, you need to come to light that Texas is the best and is always the best, as we have had many trials and tribulations when it comes to the dairy industry, as we had faced losing Gail Borden and even environmental factors. Thank you.